lantern that sleeps. Hello everyone. I hope this bedtime horror tale will ease you into sleep quickly and soothingly. They said the village didn't exist. Maps curled around its edges like burned paper. Signs vanished, roads rerouted, yet somehow Ellis Morn still found it. He wasn't looking for it, not exactly. He'd been driving west, chasing the coastal fog, hoping to outrun sleepless nights that gripped him like frost. The insomnia had grown worse. Dreams came when he was awake. Waking brought no rest. When the rain began, Ellis took a wrong turn. Gravel replaced pavement. Then mud replaced gravel. He drove until the trees thickened and his phone died. That's when he saw the lantern. It hung from a crooked pole above a rusted gate, and beyond the gate, a village. Small homes lined the road, leaning with time, roofs sagging like forgotten thoughts. Candles glowed in some windows, others stared dark and blank. There were no people, no footsteps, only the sound of the rain. Ellis didn't mean to walk in, but the lantern was glowing, and it was warm. The building was called the House of Sleep. It looked like a dream stitched from fragments, half lodge, half library, with ivy pouring from the roof and lanterns blinking in hues no flame should burn. A sign hung above the entrance: rooms for the restless, beds for the remembered. Alice tried the door. It opened without sound. Inside, silence and velvet. Books lined shelves like watchers. A grandfather clock ticked slowly, too slowly, as if every second took effort. And behind the desk sat a man whose features blurred at the edges. "Welcome," the man said. "Room?" Ellis blinked. "Yes, just for tonight." "There is no tonight here," the man replied. "Only slumber." And he handed Ellis a brass key. Room 5. And with that, Ellis climbed the winding staircase, the lanterns flickering along the walls like sighs. His room was small, perfect. A window overlooked the rain, and on the bedside table sat another lantern. Inside it, mist. The rain stopped at midnight. Ellis sat in bed, the lantern glowing beside him. It made no sound, but he felt it humming, like it had a pulse, like it breathed. He closed his eyes. For the first time in days, sleep came. And with sleep came the dream. He stood beneath the gate again. The lantern flickered above. But the village was wrong. The buildings were bleeding shadows. Windows whispered names he didn't recognize. And in the center of the street, dozens of people knelt, heads down, hands clasped, facing a well that dripped with silver fog. From the well rose a woman. Her dress was stitched from moonlight and vines. Her eyes were black as oil. She looked at Ellis, and when she spoke, her voice felt like drowning. "You are not rested." He tried to run, but the mist turned solid
The village tilted. The lanterns went out. And then he woke. Only he wasn't in room 5. He was standing in the village again. Ellis walked in circles. The streets were unfamiliar, even though they hadn't changed. He called out. No answer. Then he saw the woman again, near the well. This time, she wasn't alone. Behind her stood dozens of villagers, silent, eyes closed, as if waiting to be spoken to. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered. "But you brought a lantern." Ellis looked down. It was in his hand, smaller now, pulsing faintly, filled with mist. He tried to drop it, but it wouldn't leave his grip. "You carry sleep inside you, but not yours." Ellis backed away. "What do you mean?" The woman tilted her head. "Sleep is stolen. When you dream in the house of sleep, you borrow rest from someone else." She gestured to the villagers. They gave theirs willingly. You did not ask. Ellis turned to flee, but the fog wrapped around him like memory and pulled. Darkness tasted like old paper. Ellis awoke beneath the earth, surrounded by walls made of journals, diaries, letters. Every surface was covered in stories. Some were etched, others were sung. And in the center of the chamber, a pool, not of water, but of mist. The lantern floated above it, flickering faster now. As Ellis stepped toward it, the voices began. Thousands, layered, longing, listless. I never meant to stay. She took my breath, then my dreams. Sleep should not be currency.
Ellis knelt beside the mist. He looked into it and saw himself sleeping in room 5. But it wasn't just him. His reflections split. Thousands of versions, each sleeping, each taking. The lantern pulsed harder, then exploded. Ellis opened his eyes. He was back in room 5. The lantern was gone. The bedside table had crumbled. The window was bricked shut, and the ceiling breathed. Low, slow, steady. A voice echoed from the hallway. You must pay for the sleep you borrowed. Ellis ran. Downstairs, the inn had changed. The librarian was gone. The books were screaming. The grandfather clock spun backwards, tolling each second like a scream. And every guest room was open. Inside each, someone sleeping. In each bed, someone Ellis had seen in his dream. He understood then. The house of sleep was not an inn. It was a bank. Rest was loaned here, and Ellis had no currency. The woman waited at the gate. The fog had risen to her knees. The lantern overhead flickered. Ellis approached, breathless. What happens now? She smiled. You return the sleep, every breath, every minute, and what's taken from you does not return. Ellis stepped into the mist. Pain bloomed. Not physical, not emotional, just absence. Thoughts scattered, dreams dissolved. The insomnia returned, but darker now, hungrier. He forgot the woman's name, forgot room 5, forgot his own. Only the mist remained, and the lantern. It glowed still, waiting for the next wanderer to arrive. So, if you travel far enough west, down roads rain tends to swallow, you may come across a gate. Above it, a lantern. Beyond it, a village. If you see the sign, rooms for the restless, keep walking. Sleep isn't free, and the house